And are we live? I think so. Hello, everyone. That should... That should... That should... Okay, so no robot sounds. That's always a good sign. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's been doing well. I'm sorry I haven't been streaming much this week. As many of you know, I've been a little bit ill. So, less streaming recently, but hey, we're back now and just in time to watch some more Arknights EPs. Hello Aria, hello Elbound, hello Vagrant, I'm a robot beep boop. Hello Still, Antica. Let me just give me a moment while I send off all of my links and stuff. I believe I completely forgot to do one of them. There's always something I'm forgetting. Just like having the chat up on screen. There we go. Links now, yeah. Alright, so okay, I still have a copy, it's nice. Just into more EPs. There we go. And okay. Fine and you, best timing to hey. Alright, that should be everything that I need. Just double check to make sure everything's working. Yes, it is. Alright. I'm here. Hello, Soul. So I'm going to go through these. And just bear in mind, while I am feeling better, I do have a little bit of a cough in the back of my throat. I always have a cough that lasts far longer than it has any right to. So it's going to be here for weeks, and it's just going to stay that way. But I'll always be quiet about it, so don't worry too much. Anyway, what's the? Don't mind me flexing. I finally managed to pass the risk 26. Ooh, nice. Right. So yeah, we might as well go right into it. So where we last left off, we finished Summer Wave, which was a very strange song, I must admit. It was a very funny one, a very odd song. But yeah, it was very interesting. And now it seems like the next one is Till the Wave Ends. Not sure if that has any relation to Summer Wave or not, but does have an interesting tone to it. How's your day, Karma? It's going okay, Aria. How's yours? Also, I still need to... There's literally like a day left to do the CC, and I'm still incredibly far behind. I have to get on my game once I've finished the stream. Tiring. Mood. But yes, okay, so enough dilly-dallying. Let's get right into Till the Wave Ends. And bloop. Oh, I might need to put volume down. Okay. As usual, let me know if audio's out of balance, if something's too loud or too quiet. I like the Oriental vibes, very Asian inspired, and the ink. Music is a tad quiet? Okay. Is that better? Should be, that's about half of the thing. That's good. Okay, nice. Ooh, I really like... Is that writing in that corner there? It looks like it. Or maybe it's just wiggle. Ooh. I must say, I really like how in music the sort of like very Asian-inspired, actually not to Chinese art. Yeah, I really like how Asian-inspired music and then like that classic fantasy music you often hear merges together so well. Also, I've only just noticed the dragon in the far back there. This one has a poem and a description. Oh, I'll have to keep a note of that and read it afterwards, which means having to pause before it ends. Oh, I love... Is that string? It sounds like string. Oh, and then there's actual authentic instruments there. Chinese artists in old times do love to put poem, some sort of side. Oh, that's so cool. And I suppose it adds a bit of context as well to their art. One thing I absolutely love about this type of music that they do in Arknights, where they're more like fantasy themed, is how it always has this sense of adventure. There's always like that sense of like, okay, come on, let's get up, let's go and explore the mountains. And it just slows down, becomes more calm again. Never mind, it goes straight back into it. God, this definitely has the very RPG feel. God, that was such like an old RPG, very again, like very adventure, very like go on, let's go and do something sort of thing. Anyway, so let me go. Okay, so it's very short. A worn inkstone rinses, mounts, and seas, brush racing utmost surging waves. Moon breeze scenes vanish whilst clouds and halos scatter. One's dream, their century. Hmm, that's quite interesting. A worn inkstone rinses, mounts, and seas. Brush racing utmost surging waves. Breeze scenes vanish whilst clouds and halos scatter. One's dream, their century. I must admit that this kind of poetry does often go over my head. It's not the kind of poetry I ever really um, learnt, unfortunately. So I'll definitely do a little bit of extra research into that because there's some things I don't quite understand. I don't know what an inkstone is, for example, and things like that. But hey, it's honestly, it's a very there is a bit of a sereneness to it, I'd say, which kind of goes with the overall feel of the song. I must admit. Well, that was a really good song, and again, I love you can't see the chat on the right side. That is true. Why can you not see chat in the right side? Oh yeah, remember that comment in past VOD, nicely asked you to read EP description. Refresh chat. Yeah, 1 second, guys. Let me just Hello, Death Scythe. So I don't know why chat's decided not to. Inkstone, it's a block of ink that old Chinese paint. It's a block of ink. That's interesting. I've only ever known of ink as being like well, you know, like a liquid, I suppose. I've only ever seen ink like that. Fun fact: someone actually won a poem competition with Ling's voice line. Oh, they'll disqualify later. Oh, has that changed it? It would not be an Arknights EP stream without there being something scuffed, I suppose. Now, why is that not working? Actually, now I think about it, did Stream Elements even come into the chat? Yeah, okay, Stream Elements is running. Well, yeah, okay, so I have absolutely no idea why chat won't show. Sorry about that, guys. Fortunately, I save the chat replay, so anyone watching the VOD can always follow along to the chat on the side anyway. But that's a shame, but at least people will be able to see it. One of the famous Chinese arts are actually paintings of shrimps. Oh, that's interesting. We'll use the YouTube chat feature. Yeah. Alright. Well, that's a shame, but oh well. Is it possible to get drunk if I eat too many grapes? Yeah, as Merwin said, depends on how fermented they are. But anyway, okay, that was enough dilly-dallying. Yeah, very RPG feel, very... I love the sort of more fantasy-themed songs that Arknights do. Again, there's always that big sense of adventure with that kind of music. But let's move on to the next one, which is Neon Lit Bustle, and the one that the thumbnail is from. Oh, going from fantasy straight into electronic. Oh, 1 second. There we go. There he is. I like this mix. It's, again, like traditional Oriental, traditional Asian style, but very electric. And I think, again, for the actual Asian-inspired stuff, they're using the traditional instruments, but this time it's mixed into the synthesized stuff. I absolutely love Ax's outfit as well. He looks so cool in this. Especially the shoes. I want those shoes. Like as an urban city boy. Yeah. Yeah, very urban core, very streetwear. And again, you know, neon lit bustle, all of the stuff in the background. You got the club, you got some, looks like some sort of bars. Everyone got drip in Arknights, that is true. He's the youngest in the detective agency, I believe. Oh, cool. Much like a lot of gachas, they never really state the ages, so it does make me wonder, like, well, I suppose, you know, what the standards are in a lot of these worlds. Oh, that's really going in. He's striking the billboards. Trophy is Hypergriff's department that deal with physical merch. Oh, nice. Oh, that's really cool. I like when they add in real world aspects that they have into game. Like how in Honkai, MiHoYo actually exists in the game. Wow. Okay, just put it back in because I want to see him more. But Lungman is literally Hong Kong, Shanghai for IRL. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely get that vibe as well when playing the game. Otto is MiHoYo CEO, yeah? Bronya is, or at least in one of the different timelines, I believe Bronya is. I don't know if maybe Otto is in the actual timeline. I just know of the alternate timeline version. But yeah, I always really like it when they show like the actual real life company and they sort of like do a Stan Lee and just put themselves into their own world. Look what Ak is holding on his left hand, goldfish from Cash Up on the Skin. Oh, interesting. But yeah, I really liked that music. I really like how it blended in, similar to how the last one blended in traditional Oriental music. I keep saying Oriental music. I know it's Chinese inspired, but I don't want to get into the habit of saying Chinese every single time I hear Asian inspired music. So Oriental, Asian style music. And where the last one was blended into like the sort of typical fantasy-esque, this one was instead brought into this was merged into, you know, very modern, very technical, very electric. Well, not electric, electro, I suppose would be a better term. Very techno inspired. I do really like it. I really, really like when they blend in different genres, but also different eras of music. That's one thing I've always really liked. I've always liked when they merge in things that are more traditional, but then add modern twists to it. It's something that a lot of these companies do really well, and Hypergriff definitely do it really well. But also, just it fits really well. I mean, obviously, I assume they make the art style for the song, but still, it all matches so well, like visually and audibly. It's just it all makes a perfect picture. Like you just, you know, he's just there chilling, playing on his phone, all of like the neon in the background, and it all comes together really well. That's one thing I just really like with the EPs. Everything from the music and the vibe of the music, all the way up to just the art and the live 2D that they use. It's just all blends together really well. Makes a really good, well, I suppose image, not just image in terms of like 2D sense, but even like, and you know, something you just see. But yes, the next one though, Autumn Moods, which does sound familiar, but I don't think this was in the console. I think it's just a similar title. Let's into this one. I wonder if this is going to be another more fantasy kind of one. Oh, Monster Siren. I'm going to immediately put my foot in my mouth. I don't know why I said it. It's in the first concert, yeah. Okay, so it is why I remembered. I was thrown off by the thumbnail on the side. Yeah, this one. Oh, this is the one where I said it was like a anime ending song. It's like, you know, the anime's finished and then it's always that fun, upbeat song, regardless of what the actual theme of the show is. Or like, yeah, or like old animes. Yeah, it reminds me of like two things, either old animes or like the endings of more modern slice of life ones. Angelina is basically a magical girl. Oh, awesome. And plus, I love how bustle is just a thing. They also performed this song in the last ending. Yeah. Yeah, it was either the last or the first one. Oh, I like the guitar. Guaso. I'm having flashbacks from my childhood watching anime, yeah. Angelina is a catastrophe messenger, I believe. Oh, cool. Oh, just a regular messenger. Oh, okay. Oh, I love the vibes for this one. So if I remember correctly, the one holding the staff is Angelina, and Croissant is the one with the horns, right? Yes? Okay, nice. Oh. It's such a classic anime vibe. Oh, I like how it transitioned with the autumn leaves changing it. That was a really nice touch. How they, instead of just swiping to black like they normally do, they had the leaves come in between transition. But yeah, there's not an awful lot I can say about that one except just real old school anime vibes. Or like if you're like me who watch a lot of slice of life, the endings of those, they always have that very upbeat, quite kind of, I suppose they kind of use the classic sort of anime music for the endings nowadays. But it's always really nice. It's always such a nice vibe. I do like how Arknights has quite a lot of happy songs, I must admit. Like, for example, I love the Honkai music. They're absolute jams, but they're always either epic or dark and gloomy. There's not as many, like, you know, just chill, happy, fun times kind of music, for example. There's like one that I know of. And so having a game like this, especially a game like Arknights, which is pretty dark as far as like story goes, but then you've just got like, you know, these little bits of nice, you know, happy things which show that there is more to the world than just the depressing stuff of the story. Honkai songs are bangers too. Oh, they absolutely are. I just mean in terms of vibes. It's tricking you. Well, yeah, of course it is, but but still, it's just it kind of shows the world's being more fleshed out. Well, the world's fleshed out in all of them, but like there's more to it. There's obviously you've got all of the dark, gloomy, depressing stuff. I mean, it's like the real it's like the real world. So, there's a lot of bad stuff going on, but you can easily look around and see a lot of the good stuff. So it's nice seeing the same thing. But I mean, I suppose there's always other meanings. I know the Children of Ursus song was very happy, upbeat. Well, not happy, it was more so patriotic, upbeat. But obviously, the actual context was a lot darker. So I know there's some that are deceptive. But still, there are some that are quite nice, especially like the event stuff as well. But yes, the next one is self-observation, which does sound like an interesting title. Even though I've been wrong every single time I've made a prediction as to what the song's going to be like, I'm going to do it again. I wonder if this is going to be quite a more self-reflective kind of song. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'm just going to be an idiot again. Who knows? Let's see. Ooh. Oh. Oh, her. Interesting. So again, very Asian inspired, but this time more serious and darker compared to the other two that were also Asian inspired. Would I be correct in assuming this is Japanese inspired? I mean, I know I said I wasn't going to assume on specific countries, but this does make me think of like Inazuma as well, which I've only just listened to recently. Oh, change. Yeah, Japanese. Oh, okay, nice. It did make me think of like a lot of like the Shogun type stuff. That's an interesting change just then. By the way, the title of the song should be Observe Thy Heart, which is to be true to self. Oh. Oh, whoa, where did those creatures come from? Were they always there since the thing changed, or...? I've only just noticed that. Oh, there it goes. That was very classic Japanese. And again, like if you play Genshin and listen to Inazuma, it's very similar inspiration, that sort of era. I like the polearm type weapon. I'm not sure what kind of weapon that is. I'm not too familiar with Japanese inspired weapons, but those should be heart demons or inner evil. Oh, so quite literally fighting inner demons. Looks like a Nata. Okay. She is a Buddhist, by the way. Oh, cool. Which is the same as Riding Shogun. Oh, okay, so similar type of polearm. Interesting. Oh, there's the Oh, that's really cool. I see. Okay, that animation was cool, first of all. Wow. And again, with the autumn leaves going through. Wow. But so yeah, I definitely feel I was right in terms of self-reflection sort of thing. And I suppose with that what was the phrase? Observe thy heart or something like that. Definitely have that vibe. It definitely was a battle with inner demons and then conquering them kind of vibe, which was definitely interesting. Like it was really cool as well. Just that transition as well was really smooth. Oh, so they weren't always there. Okay, I thought I was going insane then. I thought, were they there that entire time? No, they came in one by one. Oh, that was creepy. that was really cool. That was really good music as well. That like very very classic for the era that it's inspired by. And yeah, I gotta admit, I do like that kind of era, music wise. Anyway, it probably a bit of bias because again, I'm really fond of Inazuma, and that's kind of what got me interested into that kind of music. But still, earlier, let's see. Yes, that's when it changed, and then they just slowly come in. Wow. But yeah, that was really good music. That was and yeah, same sort of self-reflection kind of vibe music. Well, vibe, as in that self-reflection vibe rather. And that's kind of yeah, there's a sort of meditative feel and yeah, conquering of inner demons. The title isn't wrong, but lacks the context translation for depth. Yeah. It kind of surprises me that they didn't go with the full translation though. I mean, you can still sort of glean what it means from self-observation, but that extra bit of context definitely plays a lot more to it, I'd say. It is to recollect yourself, observe your heart, and stay true to yourself. So kind of like, yeah, keep your demons at bay. So that sort of thing where you keep doing what you're doing and it's easy to lose your way, so you have to stop for a moment and just sort of just sort of tame it a bit before you can continue. But yeah, definitely really interesting song and um a really interesting character, I must admit. I definitely need to read up more on her and see what there is too. I'm not sure how much in-game stuff there is for her. I know someone mentioned an event, but I'm assuming that's limited time. But if not, I'll always check stuff outside of the game for like story and all that. But still, yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Daydream. I've heard of that phrase before, daydream. Don't know if it's because I've watched it in one of the concerts or if it's just a phrase I've heard before. Oh, that one. The moment someone said funky song, I immediately got, yeah. This one. Oh, I love Hoshiguma's outfit. God, the instruments sound all odd as well. It's amazing. That's an in-game skin for her. Oh, I need this character just so I can get the skin. Oh, I love that. Again, though, as well, traditional instruments in the background, but mixed in with modern synth. And whatever, like dog barking and stuff. It's actually the sleeves. Yeah, I figured those sleeves because you can see how they go up to the shoulder bit. It's such a trippy song. The band is called the EVEN. Yeah, they make a lot of funky songs with traditional instruments. Ah. There's something I really like about these trippy music. It's the sort of music where you listen to it and it's like, what were they on when they wrote this? But it's still really good. Like, it's such a really good song, but it's like, how do you make this kind of music? Like, what sort of thought process do you need? Super catchy. Yeah, it really is. Oh, that was a very typical tune. Well, stereotypical, I suppose, but just then. Probably shrooms. You really just get drunk, yeah. Although, funnily enough, there are some... lot of redacted. I will say this, and I might get some strange looks for saying this, but I can kind of imagine this band working with Gorillaz, or the Gorillaz. I can never quite tell if it's Gorillaz or the Gorillaz, because some of their more trippy songs would work quite well with this as well. Drugs are not needed for already out of this world. Good point, Vagrant. Not a bad idea, to be honest. I could see that. Yeah. I mean, I say that because I kind of thought for a moment of like Saturn's Bars and that one where 2D is roller skating. I've forgotten the name of that song, but like it has that same sort of vibe to me. It'd be to have an Arknights song by Gorillaz. That would be honestly really cool. Oh, this song is so... it's such a nice carefree vibe as well, but it's like, wow, it's such a trip. It's like the sort of music that plays in like every comedy scene ever where someone like takes mushrooms or something and then they start tripping out and there's always like weird trippy music in the background. This is it. That's a really nice song. I really liked it in the concert as well. They were crazy in the concert. The way they dressed and performed was really good and just really out there. You feel high off that song. Yeah, exactly. But it's really nice in a way because it's like a hype song but without all the energy. I mean, it's got energy of its own, but it's like, you know, trippy. So you kind of get that energy. So you still feel hyped up, but like in a more sort of slow-ish kind of way. It's quite interesting. I'm not entirely sure if I can easily describe it, but Yeah, definitely. It is definitely definitely an interesting song. That's all I have to really say on that. But anyway, the next one is called Gearing Up, which I'm going to assume is probably going to be a bit more upbeat, probably a bit more, like getting ready to do something, probably a bit more montagey, I suppose. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. A more animated background. And the moment I said that, it goes straight into the live 2D. Okay, so this is Passenger. Okay. I like this. Broken, shattered mirror. Oh, sorry. Slow build up. A lot more. I suppose a lot more mystery and intrigue. Yeah, it is quite a shattered window. I wonder what he's drawing there. He looks like he's drawing some sort of design. Is he maybe like an inventor? Kind of like a Da Vinci type inventor? Or perhaps a researcher? Because that could be more of a diagram than a blueprint. He does have a really pretty face. Close. He's a close. He's a black market arms dealer. He makes lightning storms. Oh, okay. So inventor, but probably not in a good way. Okay. That does then add to the mystery sort of thing. Oh, he's looking straight at the camera. He's looking straight at the camera just as the music started to slow down again. Ooh, I'm actually getting chills there. That was a bit of a... Oh, he's looking away now. Oh, but it's building up quickly now. Former research assistant turns arms dealer due to plot. Oh, he's been looping, looking at the camera. Never mind. Oh. Interesting. So I know this. So I get that this character's more of an arms dealer, but if he's the sort of character that likes to get his hands dirty as well, that will actually, as in like the sort of person that will do stuff himself, not just. He did burn down a city. Okay, I would say that's probably a yes. Oh Jesus! I don't know. Me leaning in isn't going to make it any clearer what it says. I mean, he can literally summon thunderstorms, walk around. Okay, so that does still make sense then, because so it was slow and mysterious while it was just sort of you know, writing, drawing, doing whatever plans it's doing. And then as the music picked up, it started to seem more like a fine, I'll do it myself kind of thing. Like you can kind of see, like if you were to see like in a montage or something like that in a way, you could see like the more casual side of him being an arms dealer, and then suddenly like, you know, just him getting gritty and doing stuff himself, because it was suddenly became more upbeat, more energetic, which is normally an indicator of doing something. So it's kind of like you know, so it's okay, yeah, gearing up. So, you know, you've taken the time to prepare, and now let's execute. Let's go straight into it. So it was kind of like that sort of. His name is Elliot Glover. Oh, so like the which yes, Leslie Glover's, who was the director of Manhattan Project. Interesting. That's quite a that was quite an interesting one. I do like that. It was a very slow build up, very slow ramp up, and then it went straight into it. So it was very much like a slow, drawn out. Make sure everything is perfect. Make sure everything is prepared as it should be, and then right now it's time for action. Let's do it. But then it ends. Like it doesn't give you much of that action. It's all like prepared. Right, let's go, and then scene. Like it's that kind of music. But that was a really good one. A really interesting character. Another one I definitely need to look up some more. Is that also a playable skin? That does look really cool. I don't know why, but my first thought was Moira. I'm probably gonna annoy a couple of people in chat for saying that, but it did kind of make me think of because of the color scheme. Only really because of that. Oh yes, the skin is amazing. Oh, nice. That's his default skin. Oh, interesting. Yes. Okay. So moving on to the next one now, feels. Now I'm wondering if this is going to give me the feels, or if it's going to be feels in the good way. Now let's see. Feels. Not sure if this was one in the concert. I don't recognize the title anyway. Oh, a lot of credits right off the beginning. Oh, interesting effect. This is quite an interesting song. This place also makes me think of Iceland. Actually, I need to look at it. Is this actually Iceland, or is it just an animated area? Oh no, it's probably an animated area. This guy sang in Death Stranding, by the way. Oh, nice. Funnily enough, the vibe of this song kind of makes me think of I don't know if any of you have watched this show, because it's Danish and Swedish. It's called Bron, something like that. The Bridge. It kind of has a similar vibe to that. To the opening of that show. Undertides area. Oh. Ooh, that's a weird low rumble in the side. So Untertide, so yeah, Iberia. Okay, yeah. Oh, like cow's head? No, donkey, I think. No, the instrumental's getting more busy. I do really love the landscape in this animation as well. Wasn't that a fish? What, the skull? The skull looks like an equine's skull. Nice, very slow vibe song, but I'd say more of a thoughtful, albeit depressing theme. Although I suppose that makes sense, because isn't Iberia basically falling apart? From what I remember from like the trailers and that. Oh, is that it? God. It's a cool song, but really creepy. Yeah, it's that very sort of slow, quite thought-provoking, but also very, like, toned down voice in a way. Like, it's, you know, it's quite down and a bit dreary. It's quite an... It is definitely definitely an interesting song. And again, I did kind of equate it to the bridge, although the opening in the bridge is a lot more upbeat, but it has that same sort of vibe to the lyrics. And I can definitely see why they went with the same band for Death Stranding. Like, it definitely has that same sort of eerie and thought-provoking feel. So it makes sense that they'll do both. I know it's a bit of typecasting, but that is kind of how creatives work. Wow, that was definitely a really interesting song. And again, I don't know much about Iberia, and as I was looking through all the landscape and all that, it did make me think of Iceland more than Spain. But I mean, well, that's probably more in relation to something else, to be honest. But still, it does make me curious about that whole area. And but still, wait a second, didn't singer in this die recently? Oh no, really? Oh, that's a that's a shame. They're based on Spain and have Inquisition. Yeah. Ah, man, that's yeah. But anyway, moving on to the next one though. What's this one called? Voices. That's normally a red flag when something's referred to as voices. So I wonder. Well, straight into it then. Straight into the creepy. Ooh. Ooh. Ah. Is it this one? Yep, very gothic vibe at the moment. I imagine it's probably going to be quite a bit of Lovecraftian vibes in a moment as well. I love that. That mix of... You've got the instruments that come in, and then you've also got the female chorus doing the steep. There they are, the Bloodborne-looking team. Fish gang. Ooh. Oh, that is spooky. So you've got... You come from Asia, the underworld. Like Atlantis, yeah, oh nice. That was curious. So the main chorus was singing in either Latin or a Latin-inspired language, which would make sense for like Iberia and that. But then you hear that. Those voices in the background, which is more otherworldly. And more, well, like Lovecraft. Ooh, slowed down a little bit. Nope. Asia is not far from Iberia, yes. That's an interesting sort of merge then. So you've got like... It's from this music, it's like if earlier was from Lovecraft's mythology was to rise up out of the sea right outside the border of Spain. That's this music. Which I suppose is relatively similar, except instead of Asia literally rising out of the sea, it's more so the characters coming from there. Oh. But the... Oh, and then it ends with the otherworldly sounds. Well, I say otherworldly, I mean, obviously it comes from the ocean, so it's not really otherworldly, but still. But that, the orchestra, or well, specifically the chorus, and specifically the male chorus part of it, sounds very desperate. Like, you know, a bad thing is coming over, nothing is stopping it, it's just going to roll right through. And that is, because you see it's like the duh, 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 like, and it never goes down, it's always rising up, so it just keeps going. And there is definitely that certain sense of desperation to it, which is, again, partly why I keep thinking of the Latin side of the music as being Iberia, even though it is more about the Abyssal Hunters, just because it has that kind of vibe of, oh, you poor sods. like oh, that's yeah, whoever is supposed to be the voice of that chorus, they're not having a fun time, kind of thing. I mean, that's the impression I get from anyway. I bear in mind I don't have much knowledge on the overall story itself, but it did kind of make me think of like if Lovecraft's city of earlier were to rise up just outside the border of Spain, this is the song that comes from it. Like, it's that kind of vibe to it. And you hear that there was that more alien otherworldly voices, which they didn't used too much in this. It did seem to be more of a Latin chorus, but yeah, there was definitely that there was that sense of um desperation to it in a way, and like things are not going to go well. Like this song is not a suggestion of things improving. But at least that's my take from it anyway, without um any context of the story itself. But going to move on to the next one now, which is Immutable. I believe that's Calcit. Or maybe I'm getting that wrong. Yes. Hmm. Nice, going straight into synthetic. Ooh. Oh, she's giving her death stare. Concealed and blah. Concealed in shadows, right? Oh, this was in one of the concerts, wasn't it? Yes, in shadows. Nice. When does she not give a death stare? When she's talking to Amia. Oh. I like that it switches into Latin just every now and then. Oh, I love this person's voice. The only thing I don't really understand is the sub rosa. That one I'm not too sure of. I know rosa is like rose and pink and stuff like that, but I think red in Latin, but I can't quite remember. I wonder if that's like a factory behind, or maybe it's a castle. Actually, yeah, I did assume that those were chimneys, but it could be a castle. Google Translate says under the rose. That would make sense, I suppose. I suppose if sub is below. Ooh. The sun rising slowly. Yeah. Which fits, well, I was just about to say, fits that part of the song where it says the sun, hope is arise. Oh, that was a really good song. Going back to this bit for a moment. But yeah, I'd definitely say that is. I'm assuming the song is literally about her. I mean, I know most of the character EPs are about them, but in this case, like the actual lyrics are about her. Although I must admit, throwing caution to the wind does not sound like the count that I've seen so far in the story. Because so far, like in terms of the story, so at the past that I'm in, she's very like, you know, be very, be very cautious, be very careful, don't be doing weird stuff. Flat out threatening you, the player, if you so much as get Amio into a little bit of trouble. but so it's kind of funny seeing this be like, oh, she throws caution into the wind. She doesn't care. Like it seems like the exact opposite of what she's been like so far. And I suddenly see all the smiley faces in chat. Okay, okay, I'm wandering into that territory. I see. So either things happen or I just haven't seen that side of her yet. Anyway, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit because this seems interesting. I just saw that. A faint, wayfaring folk song rocked about in the river of time, a wind which went in search of answers. Long on a road sans idea of where it came, so no idea of where it came. Immutable, I don't know why that's in square brackets, maybe because it's amplifying the fact that it's the title. That world under impressive inspection, still the same as ever. Interesting. What territory come? Oh, spoiler territory. As in, like, I've said something and then I see all the smiley faces and I realize, oh, okay, I'm now questioning something that's going to happen later. But that's an interesting description as well. Does that also make this song technically canon if they're actually referring to the song as a folk song? Which means people are actually singing about her, whether they realize it's the same Calcit that's walking around the streets or not. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, assuming she is as old as everyone assumes she is, it wouldn't surprise me if people are singing songs or telling stories about her without even realizing that she's still around. Which then makes me wonder how weird it would be if you hear someone telling a story literally about you to you without knowing that it is you. If that makes any sense remotely. Outsit the folk legend. But it's definitely an interesting aspect about it. And it was very calm, despite the lyrics being, well, the way they were. But definitely an interesting one. I do want to learn more about her. Obviously, I'm not really going to look her up too much because she's directly tied to the story. So obviously, I don't want to spoil myself. So I'm definitely interested to see more of her in the story, which I gather that I will probably be seeing more of her in the story because apparently she talks a lot. Strongest art of talking so long that I would have given. Literally, as I said that as well. There it is in chat. Nice. But then moving on to the next EP, Real Me. Which I do wonder, Real Me. Isn't there an event that's called Real Me or What's the Real Me or something like that? Or maybe I'm thinking of another. Or am I thinking of a different game? Am I thinking of a different game event? Anyway, let's get into it. Who is real? Yeah. Does it have any relation to that, or is it just similar name? Ooh. No ties. Okay. Ooh. Slow opening. Hint of intrigue. It's gonna build up. Okay, that was really cool. In a way, this is kind of giving me Ruby vibes, I gotta admit. I suppose it's that mix of slow and then it goes straight into like the upbeat rock. Speaking of which, that guitar is going in hard. Ooh. Isn't there a mashup between this and Bury the Light? If there is, I'm definitely looking it up after stream. Because this would actually mix really well. Actually, it would mix really well because this is basically what you'd expect Bury the Light to be if it didn't have the distortion in the guitar. Oh, I really hear it now. If you were to take yeah, if you were to take Bury the Light and remove the distortion in its synthesized guitar, and just have it play as a standard rock guitar, like at the end of the song, then this would basically be like Bury the Light. So I can see why there's a mix of it. Ooh. I like that guitar bit in there. To the caster even though she uses a sword. Oh. That might explain why her sword looks like it's red hot. The architecture kind of gives me oh. Well, that answers what I was about to say. I was literally about to suggest what area the background made me think of, and then immediately it pops up the fictional area inspired by the place I was about to say. Fucking hell. Timing. Oh, I do love that guitar though. It also has a kind of like, it does have like a video game sound to it as well. Now I know Arknights is the video game, but I mean timing or so. Definitely. So yeah, I mean obviously it is a video game, but I mean when I say it makes me think of video game music, I mean like the old school sort of Metroidvania type games where they play, you know, that kind of music. Like, you can see this being the sort of thing that's played when they're fighting the boss area of one of those side scrollers. Like, it has that kind of vibe to it, especially towards the end with the guitar. Like, it did feel like that old school gaming vibe to it, which again also makes sense as to why it has that Bury the Light theme, you know, uh, feel rather, not theme, feel. Because again, you know, video game, Devil May Cry is a very authentic video game feel in terms of the music. Yeah, that was a really interesting one. I mean, I'm not really. I don't know much about this character. I don't know much about the area. So there's not an awful lot I can get from the music itself in terms of how it relates to the character and story. Coming in is from that place, Austria in Baroque period. Ah, I see. Okay. I wasn't entirely correct then with the question I was about to ask, because I was about to ask if it was Germany, not Austria. So I did kind of get it a little bit wrong. But yeah, but it does make sense for the architecture though, because that is very much the Central European Gothic that you see in a lot of the architecture, which was then brought over into Western Europe, especially for churches and cathedrals and palaces. A lot of very Gothic architecture. But yeah, it's a really, really interesting song. And again, I do love the rock aspects in it, and I do love how it definitely felt like an old school video game. Like, just after video games moved away from the 8-bit sounding music, because obviously, you know, better audio quality came in and all that. So that era of video game music, it definitely gave me that vibe, which was quite old Germany and old Austria are pretty much the same thing though. Oh yeah, that's fair enough, because Prussia, isn't it? I believe was old Germany, and I suppose also the Holy Roman Empire, which had absolutely nothing to do with the Roman Empire, despite being called the Holy Roman Empire. If memory serves me correct, she is a catastrophe manager, catastrophe messenger rather, deployed in Lithuania. Okay, interesting. 17th to 18th century, right? So that's 16 to 1700s, right? Okay, yeah. So yeah, definitely Gothic period or post Gothic. Can't quite remember. I think 1600s is Gothic. Best way to describe her: if you're younger than her, she is a caring big sis. If you're the same age, she is same age or boss. She's a calm age. Okay. Hogwarts. Yeah, I can sort of see the resemblance, but again, Gothic era architecture. But still, okay. So for the next one, now, one I've already listened to, but I'm going to watch again because I do really like this song. It is Manifesto. After Gothic period in Europe. Right, okay, yeah. Oh. No matter how many times I watch this, I always laugh at it. Something funny about Emperor. Just something funny about a rapping penguin. Like, it fits too well. Oh, there it is. I think I've already asked this before, but do they have outfits in game? Not these ones. God damn it. You guys do not understand how much money I would spend to get Lapland's outfit and Ethan's. Look at the shorts. I like how she walks in just to sing that bit of the song. Missed opportunity to milk us hypergriff. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, look at that outfit. Oh, they all look so awesome in their outfits though. Oh, and it's, every time I just want the song to go on just a little bit longer. Classic hypergriff move. Yeah, just release an awesome looking skin in an art or an animation or whatever, and then never give people the opportunity to buy it. Yeah, I love Lapland's yeah, Lapland is in the Rune City and Indra is the one down. Yeah, I love Lapland's outfit though. It just looks so good. That was basically the reason why I asked if there was an outfit. Like I want it. This is actually not the full version. Oh. Ah, okay. I need to look up the full version after stream then. Interesting. Okay, so there's not an awful lot I can say about this because I did already react to it quite extensively in the concert, and I did say most of it there. But the thing I just love about every time Emperor's involved is always just a big, like, just a rap. There's always something rap related, and it's just always funny seeing the characters go in and do the rap as well. And obviously not just with Emperor, but also like Renegades with W. Like, it's always funny seeing these, like, seeing the actual characters, quote unquote, singing the song. And like, I do have to ask, do they canonically sing? I can't, part of me can't really imagine Lapland like full on rapping and everything, but at the same time, that would be absolutely hilarious. Although W, on the other hand, I can see rapping. She does seem like the sort of person. Emperor, I know does sing. Singing canon. It's a shame. Just be funny. I can just imagine these characters just coming together to do a song. Like, just how wild that would be. I mean, technically, you see that in Genshin sometimes. Characters who just wouldn't normally do stuff, and then suddenly they're together doing the thing that they wouldn't normally do. So, but still, it's kind of. But still, it's definitely. It's just a weird thing to just imagine some of these characters just like if they were actually doing that. Can you imagine like one of the canon like one of the in-universe bands, and then like featuring W. just just how wild that would be. But anyway, the next one is Winter Absolution, which I believe is another one from the concert, and I believe is a reference to one of the latter ends of the story. In fact, I think one of the latter ends of the Chernobog story, if I remember correctly, or maybe not. Maybe I'm not thinking of that one. I might be thinking of a different one. I want to say Winter Absolution was the one I was thinking of, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I'll see and it goes in. Not in the concerts at all. Okay, so it's not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking it was the one where suddenly every single character in Reunion is just like getting Thanos snapped in the concert. That was the one that I was thinking it was, but no, it's not that one. Oh, since it's Shinings. Oh, very. Oh, Latin. Oh, it's fully Latin. And again, very fitting of the gothic vibe. Oh, it's such a beautiful song. I'm really glad she's got a song as well, because she was my first 6-star, if I remember correctly. But is Latin a language that's kind of lost in time? To an extent. Latin was originally the Roman language, but it's no longer used by any country, but instead our languages are based on Latin, including English, although English is more Germanic. Spanish, French, and Italian. Oh, Latin is the official language of the Vatican. Yeah, I keep forgetting the Vatican is technically a country. It is the country, it's not technically, it is. But nowadays, other than the Vatican, the only people that really speak Latin are Catholics, specifically full hardline Catholics. Like, if you go to Spain, most Catholics won't speak Latin, but they will know some of the verses. But if you go to, like, the church, then they will. But that's really the only place you really see Latin outside of the Vatican. Oh, that's really... Well, okay, being forced is not so cool, but it's really cool that you understand Latin. I do agree. Christmas, I definitely think Latin... Well, I suppose Latin will always be preserved as long as places like the Vatican and... Wow. This also really suits her as a doctor as well. A lot of Latin tends to. Even though things like the Hippocratic Oath is actually Greek, but we'll wash over that. But it's also because the scientific names are in Latin, yep, and medication is often in Latin. Oh, that was a really cool song. I like the gothic vibe as well with the And the Latin also gives in a bit of spiritual feel to it as well, which again adds to that healing kind of vibe. Because, well, I'm not particularly a churchgoer. I don't believe in any of that sort of stuff. But part of the reason why people go to churches is for spiritual healing, which obviously, while it's certainly not a medication, you can sort of merge the two, especially thematically. How much do you know about Shining? Not too much. I do. There's another one I need to actually start looking into, like the profile and all that sort of thing. But but yeah, there is really, it is a really good. I do really like that, and it's ironic you mentioned church when Shining is Arcaz, i.e., demon. Well, true, but when you think about it, demons come from the same thing. Angel, demon, both two sides of the same coin. In France, Latin is an option language. Oh, cool. I know it's technically an option language in England as well, but it's one that's very rarely chosen. So in British education, the optional languages are often Spanish, French, and German are the main ones. Typically Spanish, French a second, and then German a third. Then um, other optional languages that you can learn for GCSE and I think A level are Chinese, Arabic, and Latin. Chinese isn't super common. I think Arabic is a little bit more common, but both of them are so uncommon in general that most schools won't teach it. You'd have to sort of learn it on your own and then do the exam in school. And then Latin is just so rarely done nowadays in English, in the British education system. So when the only time you'd ever really learn Latin would be if you were to go into higher education, either for history, if you were doing history in an area that uses Latin, or medical school. You do tend to learn quite a bit of Latin. And also law, interestingly enough, a lot of law will do Latin. I don't know if it's the same everywhere else, but it is quite a common thing. But yeah, but really interesting. I do really like how the Latin suits it, and I guess it's thematic for her race. It's also thematic for her role as a doctor, and but also that vibe. Because I always got the impression that she was that sort of spiritual vibe, and I get that she's a demon, but still, the way she talks, it's all very spiritual. It's all very almost druid esque. So, despite being demon as far as race goes. Definitely, I'd say more of like she always gave me more druid vibes. Although, to be fair, considering in um the religion that's very heavily used Latin, technically pagan and druid and all that were considered demons, so maybe there is a link there between the two. Sarkaz aren't necessarily sinister, but just yeah. I get that it's not necessarily she's not really a doctor. Oh, okay. But still very much that druid vibe. And I do wonder if there is that link. I mean, maybe it's just a case of the I've connected the dots. You haven't connected shit. I've connected them. But that it does make me wonder because again, she has that sort of druid pagan vibe, at least with her attire, the way she talks, and the way she does the healing. But at the same time, the gothic culture that everything else around her gives is the sort of culture that would consider that area demonic because it was after Christianity came in, pagan and all that sort of stuff was considered demonic. Pagan saints became demons, for example. So I do wonder if there was that link, or if it's just coincidental. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But it wouldn't surprise me for a company like Hypergriff if their writers were to look at that and say, yes, this race is based on demons. This aesthetic that this character is inspired by are often considered demons or fallen angels. And so, you know, two and two together. Or you know, but I suppose that's a good thing about art and stories is they're always up for interpretation as well. Because I could be entirely wrong, but like pagan old religion aesthetic, yeah. And again, after Christianity rolled through West Europe, that area, the old religions, were seen as demonic. So that's kind of why it's interesting for that connection. Sancta from Latin. Oh yeah. But yeah, so that's quite. That was definitely a really good one. I really loved that beautiful female vocals for the Latin as well. Was really. It did feel like a very sort of spiritual experience in a way. I mean, again, I suppose the use of Latin, but definitely an interesting one. But the next one coming up, the penultimate one, so the second to last, is Across the Wind. Oh, this one. This is the one of the summer event songs, isn't it? Oh, voice. I love that voice. Oh, this is such a nice vibe. One thing I've really grown to appreciate in the past few years is summer vibe music. Like, the thing I love about summer vibe music so much is it's always very carefree. Like, it's always just, you know, it's like summer's temporary, so let's go out with friends, let's do stuff, let's do some stupid things, let's jump off the cliff into water. You know, it's like the sort of things you won't do every day. She knows she's off in the game. I love how she's just chilling as well, just, you know, taking in the sun. I think the thing that I like the most with this as well is she looks peaceful. Like, you know, just vibing, chilling out, which is very different from the Chen that I've seen in the story so far. The very uptight, very hardline cop. Also, people keep pointing out the doll on the left. Who is it? Plot happens. Okay. God damn it, smiley faces. That's why it's delicious. Oh, shush, Christmas. Down, boy. Nope, not telling you, Karma. Ah! But still, regardless, I gotta say it is. Oh. I do really like though that she's seen, you know, chilling, having a nice time. Like, I'm assuming something happens in the plot that allows for that to happen, but it's just like, it's nice to see because you see the character in game in the early stages, and frankly, she looks like she's about 5 legal cases away from growing grey hair. But now you see the song, and you know, she's just chilling, just vibing to the summer sort of thing, and it's like, yeah, this is nice. And it's good because it kind of gives you the impression that, you know, these characters do actually take a break. Actually, Arknights make seasonal EPs too. Yeah. I think that was. Actually does make sense. I thought they just. Hmm. Have similar people. Yeah, it's just, I imagine. I mean, obviously, um, in a world where everyone has different physical traits, it kind of makes sense for there to be clothing specifically designed for each race. So yeah, you'll get hats with holes in specific areas for different kinds of horns or ears. And to be fair though, clothing for tails is actually really easy because where the tail goes out is quite high up. It's the lower part of the back, so just above where, pardon my French, the crack is. That's the only thing I could think of. But you know, it's just above there, so it's actually not in a particularly awkward place. So you can just have a little hole just at the topmost part of the trousers for a tail to go through. And you'll actually see that in a lot of art styles for uh, kimono mimis, for example. So actually, anyone who's on my Twitter, for example, you can go to on my pinned profile. I have a character design for my VTuber, and it has the same sort of thing. The back of the trousers, there's a little flap, so to speak, where the tail goes out of, because again, the tail is positioned further up than what a lot of people expect. So it isn't actually that uncomfortable when you think about it. It is actually a relatively easy thing to have. I'd say the more difficult one would be hats and stuff, like hats, hoods. Those would be awkward. And of course, I suppose if you do have big tails, that's where it becomes difficult. So a lot of the lizard characters would be, you would need something like very baggy trousers most of the time. But enough about outfits. This isn't a fashion reaction. This is a music reaction. And so the last one for today, because I will be doing one short this time, but the last one is Y1K, which I believe is one that was from one of the concerts. And I'm assuming this is actually Y1K, year 1000. So I'm assuming this is New Year's in the world of Arknights in Terra. Like, I'm assuming it's that, because obviously when we say Y2K, that's the millennium. So I'm assuming Y1K would be millennium. And I know it's like year 1000 or 1000 and something in Arknights. Unless I got that wrong. Maybe I got that wrong. Would you do an Arknight skin review? I definitely should at some point. Why does this have like underwater level vibes from video games? Jellyfish. Oh, I see. Oh wow, that is... Well, that certainly makes sense then. So her armpits are smooth. Canon, by the way. Why is that a canon thing? Why did they need to specify that in canon? Her? Oh, never mind. Sorry. His artist said so. Wow, okay. It's one of those invisible jellyfish you tell with the video. Yeah, I was gonna say he sort of... He did sort of flicker at one point. But I do love how the umbrella is actually like a jellyfish texture in a way, like with that sort of translucent... And the hat is literally just a jellyfish. I think I saw somewhere as well that apparently he likes 80s games. So again, further adds to it. It sounds like an underwater level in a video game. Although there is more serious tones now. I'm hungry for jellyfish. I'm fairly certain that's not edible. Wait, jellyfish is edible? That actually seems surprising. It seems like the sort of thing that would kill you if you ate it. Oh, I love this old school synth vibe. Certain kinds are... Oh, okay. Interesting. That's gonna be a really weird texture, though. And again, just a random jellyfish goes through to the transition, like with the maple leaves earlier. Is it really that surprising? I mean, it does, because I know jellyfish... Their sting is literally a chemical reaction. You get chemical burns from touching them. And because it's a chemical one, that doesn't normally go away. So I figured, well, all jellyfish sting, so they must all be bad. Yeah, we'll see. Ah, yes. Thank you, Ringo. So, yeah, I am stopping at 14 this time instead of 15, but I do have this one for that Ringo shared with me. Thank you for that. And went off. There we go. So I'll react to this one instead of going straight to the next one. So I'll start the next one in the next EP reaction. But for now, for our final one, we have Under Tides, which I'm wondering if it's the one that I think it is. Oh, right away with the very alien. Yeah, the very alien sounding voices. Ah, yes, it is the trailer one. Is that sort of build up there? And it's that eerie, otherworldly voices. I can't even think of how they do that with their voices. I don't think that's edited. I think that is the female choir making that voice themselves. They hire actual sirens, obviously. Yes, obviously. They made a deal with Dagon just so just so they can get singers in. But it's such a it makes my skin crawl. It's such a creepy, like, it just doesn't feel like something from this world. And I guess it sort of makes sense as well, because these obviously aren't aliens. They're from the world of terror. They're from the sea. But at the same time, the ocean, even in our world, is like an entirely different universe. Like, it is such an alien concept. And further down you go, and there it is. See, I don't think it's in reverse. It seems too smooth. It makes me get shivers down my spine in a good way. Yeah. But there is just something underlyingly creepy about it. Like, it just feels wrong. It doesn't feel like it's... Imagine you're sailing in the 1500s and you hear these sounds at sea. That'll be it. The next time we go to port, I would be staying on land. I remember reacting to the trailer that this was in for the first time, and my jaw just dropped when it went into this bit of the chorus. But at the same time, we do come from the ocean, so we are technically intrinsically linked to the ocean. It's just the idea of it dragging us back is the scary thing. 2 hours. Oh, this stream's gone on for a little bit longer than normal. But that's fine. There was a lot to go on. There's a lot of really, really interesting songs there's just a lot to talk about for everything. 14 episodes, but yeah. But honestly, that was really good. That was a really good set of music. I just Arknights music, regardless of regardless of what genre you like, regardless of what themes you like, Arknights music never misses. It's just always good. There's always something good about it, even if it's not your genre, even if it's not the style you normally like. You still can't say that it's a bad song. It's always just good. And it's like, I was saying before, I don't normally like rap. I like the rap in Arknights. There's just something about how they do music that no matter how you, yeah, there's just something that no matter how they do music, you just it's always something good. It's always good, even if it's not the kind of music you would normally like. It's just always something good about it. And that is just an amazing thing about Arknights, about Hypergriff, the people who do all the songs. I know they've got a specific name, don't they, for their music, as in like their the studio side of it has a specific name for it, but it is Hypergriff. It is them. Same, country and jazz not my thing, but Arknights make me like them. Yeah, exactly. But it is just honestly, it is amazing just how they do it. Like, I just can't, like, I can't fathom it. Like, there's very few, Monster Siren, yes. There's just very few, like, there's very few labels that really do it well. And I think Hypergriff and Monster Siren, yeah, I know they're one and the same, but I want to separate them anyway, just for the sake of it. And they do it really well. I think I think MiHoYo music do it really well as well. Really well as well. I think both companies are always really good with the songs they put out, but I do think Arknights is just up there. It's just another level. At least for me personally. This is all obviously my personal opinion. And for those of you watching the VOD, if you have other things that you like, feel free to always mention them. You know, say, oh, I also like this music. I like this record label. You know, stuff such like that as well. It's always nice seeing similarities and differences in opinion and stuff like that. But yes, I should probably shut my trap and come towards the end of the stream. There is so many EPs to go on. It's just there's loads. But yes, in the meantime though, thank you everyone so much for coming along. It's great to go back to streaming again after taking a good few days off from being ill. Sorry, I have been coughing a little bit. I've been trying to keep it quiet, but a lot of talking makes my mouth a bit dry. But still, in the meantime though, while we wait for the next stream, there is my Discord, which I've now linked, and of course my Twitter, both of which are where I always update whenever I'm doing stuff, and of course in the community tab on YouTube is where I also put updates whenever I do stuff. So feel free to hang around and check out those things. Always a good way of seeing when I'm next streaming. As for next streams, I will most likely be streaming again on the Saturday. I always stream Arknights gameplay. It will probably be a shorter Arknight stream because while I do like to get the whole story done, I think the next chapter is going to be running a little bit too long. It'll either be a very long stream or I have to cut it, and I'm going to cut it. I think I will do um, a slightly shorter stream. I'll figure out a good point to split it, and then the stream after that, the next Saturday, will be the continuation of that chapter. So I'm going to start splitting up the chapters because I know this chapter coming up, which I believe is chapter 5, or is it chapter 4? I think it's chapter 5. I know it's not that long compared to some of the other ones, but it's just long enough that it would be a very long stream. So I'm going to split it. But that's fine. I know that's very common as well. I'm not too worried about it. You're in chapter 5, yeah. Okay. So yeah, so it's not the longest chapter, but it is long enough that I am probably going to split it. I might make up for it a little bit if I feel a stream is too short. I might play some of the grindy stuff, some of the other things, things that won't require me talking. Because the main concern I have is voice. I'm still a little bit ill, so I don't want to do a lot of talking. Otherwise, I'm just going to make myself feel worse. I say as I've been doing nothing but talk this entire stream. Bear with me. But yeah, so at this point, I will start splitting it up. I'm also going to change the titles for all the. So what I'm going to do is currently all of the Arknight gameplay titles have got part 1, part 2, part 3. I'm going to change that to their chapter title. So instead of part 1, it's chapter 0, part 2 is chapter 1, etc. That way, when I come to these chapters that are going to require multiple parts, I can say chapter 5, part 1, so it won't be confusing. That's basically the idea. But yeah, so that's the plan. But until then, thank you everyone so much for coming along and the continued support. We are now at 600 subscribers, only 400 more, and we've literally got partner. Like, that's it. Only requirement, 400 more. So it's amazing. So thank you so much, everyone, both here now and those of you watching the VODs afterwards. It is absolutely amazing, the support you've all given me, and yes, thank you so much for being around. I'm so happy to be doing this. I'm so glad to be doing content, and I look forward to more to come. But for now, I will see you all next time. Bye bye.